Okay, time for an update. It's been a while and I've got a few bits and bobs to tell you about. The first thing is not great news. I went to go and see a psychiatrist, not the same one that I've seen before. I've had 4 appointments and seen 3 different psychiatrists, so no continuity there, but he seemed nice enough, and there was my care coordinator, who I've met I think 3 times now, and I noticed the last time I saw her that she her interest peaked when talking about my medications, and I had a suspicion of what she was going to do, and sure enough she did. She came to the appointment with the psychiatrist and pointed out my medications and mentioned my Lorazepam and how addictive it can be. And yes, I fully agree, it can be very addictive. Now I get 12 1 milligram tablets per month, so I don't take it every day. I take it for appointments, things like the dentist, travelling out of my town that I live in, if I have to take one of the kids to the hospital, or, I take it for valid reasons. Yes, I take it for a shopping trip because the town I live in is really, really small, and the shops are shit. there's no good shops. So yeah, if I want to go on a shopping trip, I have to take a pill. So anyway, I've stuck to that small amount I think I've been prescribed them now for 4 years, and they opened up my world. Before I had them, I couldn't leave my town. I skipped various things, parents' evening, family weddings, all kinds of things I missed out on. And when I got prescribed them, it was, I still can't do a huge amount. I don't use public transport. I haven't been abroad. I haven't been on a plane. I've only been on a train a handful of times. But still, it really made a difference to my life. Now, when she pointed this out, oh yes, I hadn't noticed that. Yeah, no, I agree. We should withdraw that. Who prescribed you that? And I said, well, it was my GP, prescribed it for me. Oh, well, they shouldn't have done that. We would never recommend that. So I'm gonna write to your GP and tell them to withdraw that repeat prescription and replace it with diazepam, with a view to weaning off completely. Now, I've had my phobia, agoraphobia, panic attacks, anxiety attacks, bouts of depression, yada yada yada, for over 25 years now, and I have tried numerous types of therapy with varying degrees of success, but maintaining it has always been my struggle. I think, your wiring, your habitual thoughts become so ingrained, it's really, really hard to break them. I'm not saying it's impossible. For me, I've found it really, really hard. I think I'm almost a born pessimist. I always look on the darker side and the ifs and the, whats and maybes and what might happen, and I'm always expecting the worst. So I was just devastated. I was just in shock, and I tried to sort of say, well, I don't agree with what you're saying. I just got, it did me no good. The letter was written. He said he would send me a copy. I received a copy of it, and his words were, I strongly recommend, this medication be withdrawn. And I'm almost frightened to think of what will happen if I mean, I've taken diazepam a few times in the past, and I've never taken more than 4 milligrams at a time, and it in no way has the same impact as lorazepam. You know, lorazepam just seems to really calm me down, stop the racing thoughts. You know, it's good for nausea, because when I get panicky, you know, my stomach gets bad and I feel really sick, and it stops all of that. Now, diazepam, I don't know if it's going to cut it. Now, I don't even know what dosage they're going to offer me, but obviously 1 milligram of lorazepam is not the same as 1 milligram of diazepam. So I just hope, I'm sure they're intelligent enough to realise that they're going to have to, you know, try and get it on an even scale to at least start me off. So I've yet to order this prescription and try the diazepam, but I'll let you know how it goes. In the meantime, it has made me face up even more than I already knew to the fact that I have got to try my hardest to change my situation. You know, I can't be a slave to the drugs, and just, you know, dependent on them. Not necessarily physically addicted, because like I say, I've never taken it every single day, but the dependence, because you know that there is an easier option than going through the hideous, you know, anxiety, the sweating, the nausea, the, you know, all of that. You can avoid that by taking a pill. You know, yes, it is, you want the easier option. It's natural. Anything in life, if there's a difficult way of doing something and an easy way of doing something, you're going to try and do the easy way. So it's made me sort of stop and think, well, if I haven't got that at my disposal anymore, I am going to have to try even harder to, you know, to change my thought patterns, to change my thinking. You know, obviously my therapy is finished. I did my 8 weeks. That's all the NHS gives you. That's done. Didn't really make any difference. I'm just going to have to continue what I was doing with the gradual exposure and by myself. So yeah, I'm very mixed in my outlook at the moment. I'm still taking the pregabalin. I don't think that they didn't make any changes to that, so I'll just continue with what I was taking. But yeah, I'm very mixed. You know, there's a part of me that's sort of, you know, come on, you can do it. You know, you've got to try. You've got to push harder, even more so than you have before. And part of me just thinks, oh my God, you know, my world is going to return to what it has been in the past. I mean, there's been points in my life where I've been housebound. You know, the idea of going back to that again, it's no life. It really is no life. You know, just a trip to Tesco's was, you know, a massive, massive deal to me when I was at my worst. I can remember times where I would set my alarm so I could wake up at the crack of dawn and drive. I couldn't even go in the Tesco shop. I would go to Tesco garage and try and do a food shop from Tesco garage at like 5 in the morning, because we've got a 24-hour garage, so that I could get back home before there was any traffic. You know, I'm not going back to that. There's no way I'm going back to that. So yeah, I'll keep you updated on what I get up to, how my exposure by myself goes, and let you know how I feel with the diazepam when I try it. So hope everything's good with you guys, and catch up soon.